Welcome, everybody. It Tastes Different Gaming News. What's in the news today? Sonic the Hedgehog, the RPG. Maybe. The Sonic boss wants to make a Sonic RPG before he retires. He says, personally, I really like role-playing games. And personally, I agree. Sonic Team Studio head, and I apologize if I mispronunciate it. I'm an idiot. Takashi Iizuka. Yeah, we'll say that. Wants to make a Sonic the Hedgehog role-playing game at some point before he retires from Sega. In an interview with Good Vibes Gaming, Iizuka, yeah, I guess that's how you pronounce it, was asked if he would work on a Sonic RPG in the future and said he was interested in doing so and shocked Sonic Team had yet to do it. Personally, I really like role-playing games. Iizuka said the RPG game format is a lot of fun, and I've even thought to myself, for the past 30 years, we haven't done a Sonic RPG, and I'm questioning myself, why haven't we done a Sonic RPG in all this time? How have we gotten 30 years with no RPGs? Iizuka said he would hopefully get to work on a Sonic RPG before he retires from Sega, but made clear that there was nothing concrete at this time. So I'd like to hopefully work on a Sonic RPG at some point before I retire from Sega, but that's just a dream right now. There's no concrete plans. So we all grew up on Sonic. Nick is a huge Sonic fan. I really liked what they did with the open world version. I thought that was really interesting. It had some control issues in the open world aspect, but overall not bad at all. So I think the world of Sonic could be an interesting RPG world. So let's jump to these knuckleheads and find out. Nick, Tails. That's all. Just
Knuckles? Amy? I don't know. Are we naming off characters?
Nope.
Yeah, this would be awesome. I mean, Mario's done it several times.
Yep.
So why not Sonic, Make a Sonic RPG. I'd play it. Yeah, I love Sonic. I thought Sonic Frontier was the last one, I believe. That game was really good. It was interesting. It was different. It wasn't what I was expecting, like an open world Sonic game. Like an Elden Ring Sonic game, like in a sense, but not quite that. But it was definitely different than what I was expecting. But it was actually a pretty fun game. So I would love to see them go into the RPG aspect for Sonic. I think that would fit really well. If Mario can do it, so can Sonic. Sega does when Nintendo don't. Well, Nintendo did what Sega has not done yet. So Sega needs to do that. They need to make a Sonic RPG. I mean, Sonic is a beloved franchise, a beloved character, and they really need to put him. I mean, they used to put him in all sorts of different things. Sonic Spinball and, what is it? Sonic Battle, or they also had the snowboarding one, I think, with Sonic, or maybe that was the mini gaming one and the other ones. I can't remember. But, and then they had the Sonic racing game too. That was pretty good. Kind of like Mario Kart. So make an RPG with Sonic. I think that'd be really cool. They have a cool cast of characters. The story in Sonic games is not always the greatest, but they could definitely work on that for the RPG aspect of it. Maybe just go back to like Sonic Adventure and talk about the Chaos Emeralds and stuff like that. That's always a cool and interesting take on. I think Sonic Adventure probably had one of the best. The first Sonic Adventure probably had one of the best stories as far as stories go, right? It was simple, but it was still worked. And so it could work here with the Chaos Emeralds going around and transforming things and stuff like that. And Dr. Eggman, stealing all the Chaos Emeralds and chaos coming back and stuff like that. And all the cast of characters and stuff like that. Biggs the cat we can leave out, but everybody else can come in. And no, Biggs is fine. But basically, they could have that whole thing, and then also introduce like the one of the coolest things from Sonic Adventure was the little Chozo, the little Tamagotchi characters that you could raise on your Dreamcast via Muse. they don't have the VMUs anymore, but bring something like that back into the Sonic RPG where you can raise the little creatures. I can't remember was it called Chozos? I can't remember. Or is that Metroid? I might be getting my genres here or characters mixed up, but bring something like that back to the Sonic RPG, like a little mini game where you get to raise them and kind of feed them as you progress, right? That would be really cool. So yeah, I'm really interested in seeing Sonic or seeing Sega do something like that with Sonic, right? I mean, we've gone back and made redone and made new classic Sonic games, the 2D, old school Sonic, but new paint, Sonic Mania, Sonic with Superstars, which is the last one that came out that was more like the 2D, 3D aspect. So let's put Sonic into something different, right? It'd be cool to see him in an RPG. Like I said, with all the cast of characters, you got Knuckles and Tails and Sonic and Amy and Shadow and all sorts of different characters that you could pull from and bring into the world and create a really cool RPG with turn-based fighting mechanics and stuff like that. That would be really cool. I would say that fighting would need to be turn-based. I wouldn't want an action game because then it should be like every Sonic game. I think more of a turn-based style combat system would work best for Sonic because then that would make it different, right? Because otherwise, we've got a lot of 3D Sonic games where Sonic runs around and spin dashes and jumps on creatures and stuff. So if they made an RPG, the only difference is you be getting experience now, right? So they got to make a different kind of battle system that differentiates it from other 3D Sonic games, right? So I think like a turn-based battle system or something like that would go well with it. But yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm ready for it. Let's do it. I mean, they're not saying they're doing it. The director's just saying he would like to. So hopefully, from this, Sega would be like, hey, that sounds good, and maybe greenlight something for him to be able to do something like that. But Pat, what do you think, buddy?
I wasn't even thinking turn-based RPG, but that sounds really awesome. I was thinking more like Zelda, Zelda RPG with Sonic. I was like, that's kind of cool. But then turn-based, I'm like, oh, turn-based party RPG would be better, right? Sonic can go out there and get Knuckles and Tails and all that stuff, and maybe we get Metal Sonic or Metal Tails, or Mecha, whatever. There's a whole cast of characters they have. That would be a really interesting game, I think, to be turn-based like that. Turn-based party RPG. That sounds really cool. I wasn't even thinking that. I was just thinking, like I said, like Mario or Zelda or something. But I'd actually be more interested in a Final Fantasy style, old school, or Phantasy Star, or any of those type RPGs. With Sonic just collecting a party and going out and doing party battles, and I could get behind that. I'd be excited for that. But alas, we probably will never get that. You know how it is. We want something, and they're like, gamers are interested. Here is Sonic the racing game or something else. Something nobody. I mean, people may want
Sonic Olympics.
Yeah, Sonic Olympics. There you go. We'll get that instead of Sonic RPG or something like that. But I'm vote for Final Fantasy Sonic. That's what I vote for. Yeah, I'd be definitely excited to play that. Really excited. I like the Sonic games, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the open world one. I found it just okay. Sonic to me has always been, even with all the other crap, even the RPG that came out a long time ago on the DS or whatever, Sonic has always been just like the adventure style side-scrolling game, to me, and that's what I liked. But I would definitely be super stoked to see something like an RPG game come out of that. Sonic's done just about everything else, and they've done quite a bit of it, so time for an RPG, in my opinion. Maybe the Sega boss, Iizuka, or however you pronounce his name, will get his wish, because I'd like to see that myself. Sounds like I was Googling, and I came across the IGN site, and the poll seems like overwhelmingly people are voting yes to Sonic RPG versus those that say no. So I'm in the yes category. Sounds like Nick's in the yes category. Sounds like Shane probably is as well. But yeah. No Sonic RPG for Shane. He would just rather jump Sonic into the pit of spikes over and over and over again than see all those rings jump, lose all his rings.
I'm going to have to go against this grain, and I want to see an action RPG. So now, Hear me out. I love
Sonic
turn-based.
Mass Effect.
I love the turn. Oh my god, we could have sex with tails, all of them. But anyways, I digest. I like the ideal of an action RPG.
Yeah, people are gonna have trouble digesting that. That's what.
Don't Google it, that's for sure. So I like the ideal of more of the action aspect. So let's say like Final Fantasy 13 as an example. So when you run into an enemy, it locks you into an area for the battle that you're about to fight. I like that idea with Sonic characters. Sonic is your quick guy, so you could upgrade his shoes or whatever weaponry you want to give him. You could turn some of his spiky hairs into steel or bronze or Play-Doh. I don't give a crap.
No, Sonic gets a Morning Star, a big old spiked mace.
Exactly. Just Sonic goes clubbing. But I like the ideal of a action RPG. Something that's a little more focused in. That kind of hits on the aspects of the different characters. Like Shadow would have a gun. Tails would be probably more on the mage aspect because he can fly, and we all know flying is fake. They never prove that's real. Amy could be, a warlock or something like that. Throwing chili dogs or something. I like the ideal of a action RPG. Now, a turn-based would be fun as well, but I like the ideal of the action combat part of it. It's never going to happen. I'll be honest. I just don't see. I see the turn-based happening before the action RPG, but they did do Frontiers, which was an open world thing. They could build off of that and focus on RPG elements. I think they could do it, and I think they could do it well. I don't think it'll happen ever, but I like the idea of it because Sonic is a great character. His all these sub characters in that game are all fun and fantastic. From Dr. Eggman to all the little robots he builds. I think it could be very interesting. I really do. I think if he was to dive into it, though, his first foray would have to be really exemplary. He's really going to have to work hard at making a solid game because you're going to go into a game like that with a lot of concern because it's not a Sonic game typically. It's Sonic in a world of, like you said, Elden Ring. So, I mean, I love the ideal of it. And I hope we do get a RPG out of it. It's interesting to watch them take characters from games and just flip the script with them. Metroid, went FPS, and the way they did it was really cool. I really liked it. The old side scroller went to an FPS essentially, where when you morph balled it was a whole almost different type of gameplay. Then you had Mega Man and Mega Man Worlds. That was a whole new script flip. I think they could do it. I think they just have to be cautious about it. I think they have to talk to other developers who make RPGs, get their opinions or ideals of what they would imagine a Sonic RPG world being like. So personally, I think it'd be really awesome. Think it could be done. I don't think it will be done. I think a lot of Japanese developers don't like to do too many different things with their characters. That's just my feeling, but that's just the way I see things. But it'd be a cool idea. So, you guys have anything else you want to spit out on this? Any more rings for Sonic? Little rings of knowledge.
I mean, like I said, it would be cool. I just I don't see it happening either. But it'd be cool.
Give us a Sonic
maybe one
RPG.
day.
With voice acting. Oh my God, who would play who? Okay, so Sonic would have to be Gilbert Guthrie. I know he's gone, but that just works for me. All right. Knuckles could be Keanu Reeves. Yeah, he'd be a good Knuckles. He looked like a Knuckles guy. Tails could be, well, anybody. Tails could be mute. I don't care. Amy could be the chick from the Ninja Turtle movies and Transformers. What the hell her name is? She's terrible, so she would fit right in. But it had to be fully voice acted. I don't want to read it because I'm lazy. All right. Well, you guys made it to the end of the video. You made it through the nonsense. What do you think? Sonic as an RPG, do you think it would work? How do you want to see it work if it does become an RPG? What kind of mechanics do you want to see with it? Let us know in the comments below. Also hit that notification, the subscriptions, the bells, all the good stuff. Tell your friends about us because more the merrier here. And we'll see you next time. See ya.